Hello everybody and welcome back to GLC TV. Sorry, it's been a bit of a wait from our last video to upload, but I've been recovering from a bit of a throat infection. I've had to let my voice rest, but I'm back and ready to talk into the microphone, and we got a fun matchup for you guys. This is from a tournament that was played at Clubhouse Games. This was from round 2 of Swiss rounds. And it's going to be Landon versus Jonathan, and we've got a Lightning versus Psychic matchup for you today. For those who don't know, Gym Leader Challenge is a non-rotating fan-made format similar to the Commander format for Magic the Gathering, in which you can play cards from the black and white set onward. You can only play Pokemon of a single type in your deck. You can only have one copy of any card except basic energies, and you cannot use any cards with rule boxes such as EX Pokemon or A-Spec trainers. Alright, and for Landon's Psychic deck, you have probably all seen him playing Psychic on this channel at this point. However, he is trying some new things, so I do have his deck list up on the screen, or at least the picture that he has taken and posted in our Discord. We've seen some familiar faces. We've got the Monkey Dory Giratina combo to spread damage around, as well as Iron Boulder as his early offense. We see Cleffa, Kirlia, and Gallade as his value engine and pinch hitter, with Malamar and Dimension Valley for energy acceleration. But a notable new addition to the deck is the Clefable, which can copy the opponent's active Pokemon's attacks for just 2 colorless energy. So able to steal some powerful attacks there with the Clefable. And then notable absence from the deck is the Special Laser Necrozma. So it looks like Landon trying out the deck without that, and we'll see how it goes. And then Jonathan playing a Lightning deck. I don't have his full deck list, but based on what I have managed to see in his hand and in play, we've got the support core of Dynamotor, Double Dynamotor, and Sprint with the Zebstrika, with some efficient big basics from Lightning like Zeraora and Thundurus, along with Regieleki and the Alolan Raichu for some spread damage. And we've got Emolga, who can help set up basics and also works as a great pivot Pokemon for Dynamotoring, which can only go to the bench. Jonathan has a lot of damage boosting cards in his deck, including Electro Power, an item that can give his attacks plus 30 damage on top of whatever damage boosting tool he has attached to his active Pokemon. Alright, and this game was recorded by Landon with his rig, which you can see here. I actually was at the tournament during this round, and I caught a quick video of the players while they were playing. And here we go, getting into round 1. I've started taking my older son to League Night now, but it's hard to play in a tournament when you're also trying to help a 4-year-old. But here we go, we've got the starting positions. We've got, looks like a Blitzel for Jonathan in the active, and a Ralts for Landon as his active. And Level Ball for Jonathan. Blitzel, very good start. Hopefully Zebstrika is in the deck. Great way for Lightning to just churn through the deck and get the resources it needs. It can be a little painful. Sometimes you have to discard things you don't want to. We've seen a lot of players in other metas looking to Kofu as a way to preserve resources in Lightning while still being able to sprint to get cards. I think another good one for Lightning for using with the Zebstrika is the Pokemon Communication, kind of like a Kofu as a Pokemon search, lets you shuffle one of your Pokemon back into the deck. Great way to preserve evolutions in Lightning before you can deploy them. But sometimes you just got run a lot of Pokemon recovery items as well. And looks like Jonathan just finishing up his deck search, probably checking his prizes. Grabs the Tynamo. 30 HP Tynamo, but it does have free retreat, so that may be why Jonathan's using this Tynamo. Good to have a pivot sometimes, as Dynamotors can only go to the bench, but 30 HP can be a real liability, especially against Landon's deck with the Monkey Dory that can just spend 30 damage onto something. So this might be a heads up play, knowing that Landon possibly has Monkey Dory. He goes for the Dynamo to get it out early so he can hopefully get it evolved quickly, or it may just be based on what he's got in his hand to start with. Lightning Energy attached to the Blitzel, setting up a retreat for next turn if he needs it, and then going to pass over to Landon. Looks like Landon's got the Battle Compressor, so that's a great card in a deck with Giratina, as you can play the Giratina directly from the discard pile onto the bench with its ability. So kind of acts almost like a nest ball, but you can then thin out other cards in your deck that you don't want. Like if Landon found that he had all his basics in his deck, he could discard Hisuian Heavy Ball so he doesn't draw that later. Could also discard things to get back with something like Tulip if he has that in his hand, or maybe discard a supporter if he's got a Versus Seeker in his opening hand. A very flexible card in a deck that can access its graveyard very easily, which GLC decks tend to do. We see him pulling some Darkness Energy to the front. He does have the Hisuian Heavy Ball in his hand already. 3 Darkness Energy in the deck, so definitely trying to prevent being hosed by prizing if you prize 2 Darkness Energy. I think standard is probably 2, but I believe he runs a Crispin in this deck, so 3 Darkness would make sense, so that way he doesn't lose out on Crispin later in the game. And these initial deck searches, always a little bit longer, so that players can get a sense for what is in their prizes, which can always be a little bit tricky when you've got Singleton, only 1 of each card in the deck. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and just discard the Giratina, so pulling the energy was mostly prize checking, it looks like, just to make sure he knew how many Darkness Energy were available in the deck for later, in case you wanted to play a card like Crispin. Good to know ahead of time how many energy you've got. And he is going to play the Hisuian Heavy Ball, so we're going to get to look at his prizes. Couldn't quite tell what was in there even after pausing it really quick. A little bit tough with the glare as well as the gold that Landon loves to run in his deck. Really hard with the gold items to see at a glance. Kind of messes up the art silhouette that makes them more recognizable. But, you know, folks love their bling. Can't hold that against anybody for sure. Alright, so I'm going to grab the Iron Boulder from the prizes, and I was able to tell that one of the other prizes was a Boss's Orders, the Full Art Cyrus, so that is prized as well. We're going to have to wait and see what the other prizes were. And Iron Boulder, great card for getting some early attacks, and can do 170 for just 2 energy. And then going to use Marnie, which could allow a attack here, depending on what he finds. If he can find a way to power up the Iron Boulder, get Dimension Valley in play, and then get his hand back up to 4 cards, he could get a turn 1 attack off. He would probably need to find Curlia as well. Okay, interesting. Going to attach a double colorless to the Ralts, and passes back to Jonathan. Jonathan also going to have that Hisuian Heavy Ball. Is he going to find something? Yes. Finds the Thunderous in the prizes. Still hard to make out exactly what was in the prizes, but I did see an Evolution Incense, a Lightning Energy, and a few Pokemon in there, as well as a Thunderous. So could potentially have a few Pokemon stuck in the prizes here for Jonathan. But at least able to get that Thunderous out as a powerful attacker. Can do 140 for 2 Lightning Energy. It does do 90 damage to itself and only has 110 HP, so it can be difficult sometimes, especially if the opponent is able to put some chip damage on it before it can attack. And there's a Regieleki as well. The Terra Spark does 120 for 3 energy and 40 damage to 2 targets on the bench, but it discards all energy, all lightning energy when it attacks. And attached to the Thunderous, and going to use Agility with Blitzel. Gets the heads. So 10 damage, and going to be immune to damage during this turn as long as it stays in the active spot. So Landon, if he wants to take a knockout, he's going to have to find a way to switch out the Blitzel. which is tough because we know the boss's orders is in the prizes. It does have a ball guy in hand. Let's see if he can remember which balls were in the deck. He's going to go for it. So ball guy. This could be a good way to get some setup going if he has the right balls. Can't get air balloon. Landon doing some knowledge checking on the opponents. Did you know you can't get air balloon with ball guy, even though it has ball in the name? Yes, the fun of playing a game that is translated from a language that is not English. So Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, one more target, and an S Ball. Could also get a level ball, but it might be in the prizes. Might be one of those gold cards we saw hiding in Landon's prizes. But Ultra Ball to get the Curlia, no doubt. Rebuild the hand, play and Quick Ball and S Ball. Possibly to get the Inkay, and then maybe get Monkey Dory or even Cleffa. Alright, Nest Ball first. Yeah, there's the oh no, that's not Cleffa, that's Clefairy. Which would be an interesting choice, because I don't know that Landon really wants to be copying. Well, I mean, actually the Regieleki is a pretty good target for copying, because you don't have to discard lightning energy to make the attack work. It just discards lightning energy. So as long as Landon is attacking with colorless and psychic, he can actually copy Terra Spark and not have to discard any energy for it. But so he is going to get the Clefairy, going to use the Ultra Ball. Looks like discarding the Quick Ball, and gets the Curlia. Now he doesn't have to evolve it right away, but he does have the double energy on it, so he could retreat it even if he evolves. That's something that you have to think about when you're playing with Curlia. It's got the double retreat. You often will want to retreat your Ralts first for one energy and then evolve, so you don't get your Curlia stuck in the active for an extra turn. But it can be tempting sometimes to draw those cards as soon as possible. So Curlia using Refinement, going to discard the Hex Maniac. It's a pretty big discard here. Really good against Lightning to shut off their Dynamotors as well as their sprint abilities. But finds the Monkey Dory, has the Darkness Energy, and hasn't attached this turn. Going to be able to send that damage back to... Oh, he could put it on... Okay, he's going to put it on the Thunderous. I like that, because if he can do that one more time, Thunderous won't be able to attack without knocking itself out, because it only has 20 HP left when it attacks. Does 90 damage to it, has 110 HP. And that means that, yeah, Jonathan can't really attack again with that agility if it's doing 10 damage, because it'll render his Thunderous kind of useless, or at least much worse if it can't attack without knocking itself out. He does have the Zero Aura, does 120 damage for, or sorry, 20 damage, what is it? 20 damage plus 10 more or 20 more damage for each Pokemon on the opponent's bench. And yeah, Landon double checking the interaction there between Clefable and Regieleki, whether you have to whether you only get the ability if you discard lightning energy, and no, that's not the case. You just have to discard it as part of the effect, and in addition to that, you also get the 40 damage to two bench Pokemon. It's not conditional on discarding lightning energy. So has the Zero Aura. Yeah, just going to pass. So Jonathan sees the line from Landon. He cannot attack for 10 more damage. Otherwise, that Thunderous will be rendered inoperable for the most part. I mean, it would become a S-side attacker, if you know what I mean. Landon's got Chorus's Tenacity. Going to be able to get a Special Energy and a Stadium. Fantastic card in Psychic. Can get your counter energy, or in this case double colorless energy for some of his attackers like his Clefable, as well as the Dimension Valley Stadium to also accelerate energy. And we're going to see it's just going to grab a basic Psychic energy as well as the Dimension Valley. Tenacity does, unlike Guzmahala, does not have to get a special energy. You can get any energy with it, so you can get basic energy. Makes it a very flexible card. Alright, so plays the Dimension Valley, and it looks like we're going to see the retreat from the Curlia, and we are going to get to see this Iron Boulder do its attack for 1 energy here, but Landon does need to even out the number of cards in hand. Curlia can help with that, able to draw 2, although he only needs to get down to 2 cards, it looks like. And there it is, plays the Inkay, goes down to 2 cards, and able to do 170 damage to the Blitzel to take the first knockout of the game. And Jonathan trying to decide who to promote. The Temple does have free retreat, so it makes sense to promote that as the active, give himself some options once he can figure out who he's going to be attacking with. He does have 2 big attackers, but right now only the Thunderous can do enough damage to knock out this Iron Boulder, which has 140 hit points. Gonna use Night Stretcher. Gets back the Blitzel, so hopefully it means he has the energy in his hand. And he does, he's got the teammates. There we go. So going to be able to play teammates here. So able to basically restore his board back to what it was, getting back the Blitzel, and now able to play the very powerful teammates card off of getting knocked out by the Iron Boulder. Oh, Landon's checking out my custom Gabite card that I got from RRC Jacket 47 over on Tricky Gem. Thank you so much for sending me that. I've been finally getting to play with them, and I definitely need to make a video to spotlight those. All right, and I was able to go back and catch the 2 cards that Jonathan grabbed. Grabbed a Lightning Energy and a Zebstrika. So most likely getting the energy he needs to take a knockout with the Thunderous, and they're going to be able to evolve into Zebstrika to start getting some card draw going on the next turn with the powerful sprint ability, allowing him to draw 4 cards each turn. Okay, and there's Lightning Energy on the Thunderous, free retreat with the Temple, and because he chose not to use agility, he is able to attack with the Thunderous here without getting knocked out. Although that Monkey Dory is going to be a constant threat. There's a Pal Pad. Okay, going to put the twins, or not the twins, the teammates back into the deck. I did play during the era where twins was legal back when I was a kid, so I have fond memories of playing that card. Alright, I'm going to take the knockout with the Thunderous on the Iron Boulder, evening up the score 5-5. Landon thinking about who he was going to promote here. Curlia, Clefairy, Monkey, or Inkay. Now, interestingly, if he uses the Clefable to try to attack, he would take 90 damage, but Clefable does have 120 HP. Could really take the knockout with anything here, including the Monkey Dory. I believe even the Inkay. He would need an energy for Monkey Dory since the Dimension Valley only reduces the colorless cost of attacks, so that Darkness Energy is not helping the Monkey Dory get its attack off. He's going to send out the Monkey Dory. At least it has an energy on it to retreat if he needs to. He does have a teammates of his own. We're going to start off with a Super Rod. Or actually, it might be Ordinary Rod. So shuffles the Iron Boulder and a Psychic Energy back into the deck. Oh, it's not a teammates, that's a Rosa. He's going to play the Rosa, so able to get a Pokemon, a trainer card, and a basic energy card. Actually, I believe it's a Pokemon, an item, and a basic energy card. So it's a basic Psychic. I don't know. Actually, does it get a trainer card? No, it's actually any trainer card. So it can get a Stadium and a tool off of it, or a tool. I've been thinking about when you would want to use Rosa in a deck other than Raihan and teammates, because I feel like playing all three, you're getting bricked a lot too much in the early game before your opponent's taking knockouts. And I feel like Rose is really good in decks that have ways to accelerate energy from the hand. So anything playing Rain Dance or Lightning Zone, Xatu decks, but I don't think Landon runs Xatu in this deck. So I find it interesting that he is playing it. Decks where getting that energy as the third card is adds some value to what you're getting. Versus teammates, you're getting 2 cards. It's that, is that basic energy really value added? So he's gonna grab Escape Rope and Gallade here, as well as a basic Psychic Energy. It is a powerful card though, can't deny it, but Raihan gives you that energy acceleration in addition to the search. So I feel like if you have a Rain Dance deck or a Rain Dancer in your deck that can accelerate energy from the hand, I feel like that's where Rosa can have more value over Raihan. But you'd probably still play teammates. Alright, Escape Rope. And that's actually really rough for Jonathan. You never want to get your self-damaging attacker pushed out of the active, because now it just becomes a very easy to get prize, and it can't really attack without giving up a prize itself. So very heads up play from Landon. If he can get any damage onto any of his guys, he can then just take a free knockout with the Monkey Dory. So it might actually just be good for Jonathan to, once this gets benched and something else gets knocked out, just attack with the Thunderous and knock itself out and not leave it on the table as a free prize for Landon to take. But he's deciding between probably the Regieleki and the Zeraora. Yeah, I think the Zeraora is correct here. The Regieleki is just so powerful at taking extra prize cards. Zeraora's, there's not a full bench for Landon. He's going to be playing around it. I feel like Zeraora is a card you want to put into play after your opponent has filled up their bench, not before, because if you do it before, your opponent can kind of control how much damage the Zeraora can do. Okay, interesting. So what just happened here? He retreated Monkey. Did he retreat and then play Escape Rope? That was kind of strange. I'm gonna use Curlia to refine, discarding. Wow, is that scheme? Oh, there's the play. So the Giratina coming onto the bench and puts the last damage counter to take knockout on the Thunderous. So Landon takes another prize there, and then attaches energy to Monkey Dory. I don't know about that. Seeing what Jonathan promoted and then doing that, backing up there, I was a little fishy. But I understand why he needed to do that. But now able to attack with the Monkey Dory with the Psychic Energy. I'm sorry if I'm a little congested. I feel like I have a constant cold now. Uses his Buddy Catch to grab Penny. Penny, an interesting card in this deck since he's got several stage 1 attackers, but pretty good to pick up. I guess you can pick up Giratina or Iron Boulder with it and then attack with them immediately, or at least the Iron Boulder. And okay, interesting. It does 60 damage with Monkey Dory, it looks like, and is confused. So Jonathan in kind of a tough spot here. Okay, but he does still have the Zebstrika, and he drew into teammates again, which he palpatted last turn. So yeah, go ahead and play that teammates. I bet Landon's laughing seeing that again after the palpad. So we can get any 2 cards here. Probably wants to get the electric, so we can start accelerating energy. Buddy Buddy Poffin might not hurt either. Just needs to kind of get his board established. Alright, wasn't able to catch it, so let's see what he... okay, so I saw a U-turn board was grabbed, but he's still going through the deck, and I think I saw Pokemon get grabbed, so I'm guessing it was the electric and a U-turn board. If he could get that Thunderous back into play, he could attack with it again. But again, ooh, that Thunderous is kind of a liability in this matchup. Although if he knocks out the Munkidori, then at least gets rid of that answer to it. Okay, yep, there is the Electric. And attaches the Dynamotor, or excuse me, attaches the U-turn board to the Zeraora, and Electric with the Dynamotor ability. And now looks like he's getting ready to sprint away that last card in his hand. So Jonathan sprinting away the Versus Seeker. Painful, but it is not usable right now because he already used Teammates. Draws into... Is that an energy retrieval? That's interesting. Whoa, okay, gonna retreat into the Zebstrika. Kind of feels like sacrificing the Zebstrika here. Also didn't bother the Dynamotor. Probably doesn't want to because you don't want to leave damage counters on a Munkidori player's board. Gonna use Dynamotor onto the Zeraora. Maybe he has a switch. There's the energy retrieval. Gets 2 lightning energy back to hand. That is the correct energy retrieval art to play, by the way. So you see Raihan in hand. He's got 2 lightning energies. He can't retreat though, but if he has a switch, he could get that Zeraora back into the active. He does. He's got an escape rope. Alright. So that was the goal here, was to get the Zero to the bench so he could Dynamotor to it and then power it up for an attack. I believe it's doing 100 damage right now. So Landon could absorb it with Giratina or Gallade. In which case, he'll have some damage counters to throw at Jonathan's board if he can find a Darkness Energy. Alright, he's going to absorb it with the Giratina. And it looks like Jonathan... Okay, there it is. There's the Jonathan going to use the attack and deal 100 damage to Giratina. The Combat Thunder attack. But now Landon does have a Giratina stuck in the active. Escape rope is down. He does have Penny though. So yeah. Could probably just Penny the Giratina back up. But he needs a way to get some energy on, because there's no energy on Gallade. Only Munkidori has energy right now. If he got a second energy on Gallade, he could knock out this Zeraora. Oh, actually, the Zeraora has 60 damage, so actually just needs to get Munkidori back into play, so he's fine. Yeah, just penny up the Giratina, knock out with the Munkidori. And if you get a Darkness Energy, you can just start throwing damage from the Giratina onto the Zeraora. Gonna use Buddy Catch here. Landon goes and finds a supporter. Could see Guzma being good, but he doesn't have... but unless he has the Clefable to take a knockout on Regieleki, he doesn't currently have a knockout on any Pokemon on the bench, so not sure if Guzma's what he wants. But it would allow him to switch his Giratina out without giving up the damage counters on it, so he could use it for Munkidori. Okay, there's the Guzma from the Buddy Catch. So if he does have the Clefable, he could Guzma up the Regieleki and hit it for 120 and put 40 damage on the bench. On 2 of the bench targets. He's gonna gust up the Regieleki But he's not going to send in the Clefairy. He's sending in the Monkey Dory. The Regieleki does have, I believe, 3 retreat. So it looks like he's just going to go for 60 damage on the Regieleki and Confusion. So it does at least lock a non-attacker in the active spot. And back to Jonathan. So now has to find a way to pivot back to Zeraora once again. Does have Zebstrika, so he could sprint for a fresh hand of 4 cards, but looks like he's considering what he's got in his hand currently. Always a question of whether to attach. Okay, he's going to play Emolga. That's free retreat, basic. Oh, and nice, he's got the Bird Keeper. Okay, so Bird Keeper to draw 3 cards and switches into the Emolga, which does have free retreat, so it is a pivot. So it does give him an option here to potentially switch back into Regieleki, although he's only got 1 Dynamotor going, so I don't think he can get Regieleki going this turn. Most likely going to be going back to the Zeraora, which can right now is doing 100 damage. So actually, is that enough to knock out Monkey Dory? Oh, okay. So Monkey Dory does have 110 HP, so he doesn't have the KO with the Zeraora. Finds Stormy Mountains though, so he can get another basic onto his bench before he sprints. And that means, okay, Rescue Stretcher. Okay, he gets back the Thunderous, so now cannot use Stormy Mountains to shuffle his deck if he wanted to. But he did bump the Dimension Valley, and we're going to see discard of a Pikachu, Raihan, and a Lightning Energy to sprint. Going to draw 4 new cards. That Thunderous is key. I'm surprised he didn't attach to the Thunderous, though. He could have Dynamotor attached. And then attacked with the Thunderous to knock out the Monkey Dory. Ooh, Max Elixir, I believe? Or is that Ether? Okay, that's the one where you get to look at the top 6, and if you find an energy, you can attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. And he does find the basic Lightning Energy, so we're going to be able to attach to the Thunderous here. Oh, I wonder if he doesn't have any Lightning Energy in the discard, so he probably had to discard the Lightning Energy from hand to sprint so that he had a target for Dynamotor. And then, since he found an energy off of that Elixir, he now has a target to Dynamotor and going to be able to get that Thunderous up and attacking this turn and get the damage he needs to knock out this Monkey Dory. Yep, there's Dynamotor. And we see the energy that was discarded. Oh, Scoop Up Net. Gonna get rid of the damage on the Regieleki. Could now use Stormy Mountains if he has a basic, or even if he just wants to search his deck and shuffle. But I think he's just gonna rebench. Oh, gonna bench Mareep. Nice. So he's gonna be able to get that second Dynamotor set up. And Thunderous takes the knockout on the Monkey Dory with 140 damage for the 2 energy. And Jonathan down to 4 prizes, tying it up 4-4. Landon now has to choose an attacker. We've got Gallade, Clefairy, Inkay, and a very damaged Giratina. Gallade's going to be the active for this turn. He's got Buddy Catch, so it always feels like you're in it when you've got Buddy Catch on the table. You can find any supporter you want, including Teammates, which I don't believe he's played yet. You could also get Raihan. Alright, looks like there is a Guzma Hala being played. Discarding 2 cards, you're going to be able to get a Stadium, a Tool, and a Special Energy. I know he does have Luxurious Cape. Doesn't need to do much though, just needs to do 20 damage here to knock out this Thunderous. Jonathan also got rid of that Regieleki as a target for Clefable, so I think that Scoop Up Net was a very good play and not putting it back down on the bench by removing the option for Landon to copy that Regieleki's attack with Clefable. All right, Artisan. It's going to replace the Stormy Mountains. Looks like the other two cards were Air Balloon and a Unit Energy, which gives Psychic Energy and Darkness Energy. Not relevant now that the Monkey Dory is down, but if Landon can get it back, it might be helpful. The Air Balloon will allow the Gallade to retreat if he needs it to. There is the Iron Boulder. So if he can get a Malamar, he could get this Iron Boulder charged up. I don't know how many cards are in Jonathan's hand, but I believe it's pretty low since he sprinted and then played some cards. Oh, is that a Copycat? Or is he... It looks like he buddy catched for Copycat while he was still in the deck. Okay, so he used Artisan to get the Iron Boulder, buddy catch to get the Copycat, which indicates to me that he is planning on attacking with the Iron Boulder. Oh, but he can't play Copycat this turn because he already played Guzmahala. But he does have a Rescue Stretcher to get the Monkey Dory back. The Unit Energy now going to be able to allow him to move some damage counters off of the Giratina. Takes the knockout on the Thundurus. Yeah, that Thundurus is really not good against this Monkey Dory, it seems. So Landon able to take a free knockout without attacking, and could potentially take a second prize this turn, go down to 2 prizes, but he needs to get some energy on the board. Right now he's only got Gallade with no energy. Emolga, the active promotion. No sign of that Malamar, and it looks like it's going to be a pass back to Jonathan. So Jonathan gets off with just 1 prize being taken by Landon. Not too bad. A double prize turn would have been pretty devastating there. But it is now 3-4. And Zero Aura is still there. And there's a full bench, so Zero Aura now heading for the full 120. However, Landon has put his biggest Pokemon up in the active, the 160 HP Gallade. So Jonathan's going to have to find a way to do 160 damage. He's got the letter to get 2 energy. Unfortunately, the U-turn board on the Zero Aura means he's not going to be able to go like Muscle Band Electro Power. He might have to try to find a Gust. If he could boss the monkey and knock it out, that would be really good for him. Because right now that Emolga is kind of a problem. Since it can't evolve, it is going to be taking... It is going to eventually get knocked out by Monkey Dory in 3 turns. There's 7 damage counters on the Giratina still, and those can all get moved onto the Emolga. Only 1 energy. So most likely trying to preserve the energy in his deck so he can draw into energy with Sprint. He's got 2 energy in the discard pile already, so if he can get that Flaffy out, he does have targets for the 2 Dynamotors. I mean, right now the bench is pretty locked up. There's the Regieleki. He just needs a Flaffy. Attach from hand to the Regieleki. Dynamotor to the Regieleki. And then do Sprint. Try to find that Flaffy. Yeah, cleaning up our boards here. Making sure the Monkey Dory is visible. There, okay, yep, there we go. There's a boss. So I think boss the monkey. And he could take out knockout with Zero Aura here, since now Landon's board bench is full. Ooh. Oh, there we go. He sprinted away. He put the Peonia. He put the Peony in the sporter spot, but he's discarding it to sprint. So because he did play boss on the monkey and going to retreat the Emolga into the Zero Aura and take the knockout. 120 damage. Takes a prize. Both players now at 3. We're at a very good game here. Jonathan able to respond to each of Landon's plays. And Landon kind of back in a tough spot again. Doesn't have the Monkey Dory anymore. That was big. Getting the Monkey Dory off the table. Big play for Jonathan. Protects the rest of his low HP Pokemon, since the Giratina was loaded up with damage from before. Clefairy going to be the active promotion here. If Landon can find a double energy and a Clefable, he can take the response knockout, copying the Zero Aura's combat thunder attack against Jonathan's full bench. Okay, gonna get Lusamine with Buddy Catch. So he could get the Dimension Valley that way. But how is he going to get the... how is he going to find this Clefable? It seems to be missing. Malamar also MIA. Alright, Lucamine gets back Dimension Valley and probably a supporter. Very powerful card. And a penny, it looks like. Lucamine at its best, of course, when you're getting back a stadium card and a supporter so that you can get value out of it on the turn you play it. But being able to get those supporters back, really powerful. Alright, looks like we air ballooned onto the Clefairy, retreat into the Iron Boulder, and now just has to get his hand down to, looks like 5 cards. Eyeing up a Versus Seeker. Oh yeah, actually I do like the Versus Seeker. Oh, plays the Cleffa? Okay, so maybe he had 6, because that seems to be the knock. And Jonathan now has to do 140 damage. Okay, Field Blower takes away the Dimension Valley and the Air Balloon. But right now doesn't have an attacker that can threaten the boulder. The Aleki only doing 120. Oh yeah, he does get the U-turn board back from the Zero Aura being knocked out. And, oh, interesting, Lana's Aid. I love this card. Gets back 3 Pokemon or energy. It's kind of like Clara. You get less cards back, but you get more selection. So you can get 3 Pokemon or 3 energy back. In this case, if he gets energy back, it'll probably be a worse Clara, but if you get 3 Pokemon back, it's really good. And that Thundurus looks like it's going to be making a return. That 140 attack being just the right number against this Iron Boulder. Oh, is he just going to get back Thundurus? He can get back 2 more cards. Okay, yeah, and an energy. And then Dynamotor. Oh, did he not use Dynamotor? Ooh, counter energy on Regieleki. Ooh, okay, Regieleki. Yeah, that Cleffa. Ooh, that was rough. So that's why Landon was taking so long to think about that Cleffa. It is a free prize against this Regieleki. And there's an Electro Power. He had the Electro Power, so he's going to be able to take the knockout on the Iron Boulder and the Cleffa. Oh, man. But yeah, Landon, I'm guessing that was the only card Landon could play to get his hand down to take the knockout with the Iron Boulder. And going to put the U-turn board on the Regieleki as well. Yeah, the counter energy, giving it just enough. And then going to sprint away. Oh, the Flaffy must be in the prize because there's an evolution incense. And we're not seeing a Flaffy, so. And there we go. The Terra Spark, 150 damage with the Electro Power, 40 damage to the Cleffa. And then going to do 40 more damage, 40 damage to the Gallade as well to set it up for a easier knockout. And, oh, that's interesting. So because of how counter energy works, it is a lightning energy before Jonathan takes surprises, and it will be discarded by Regieleki. So he does have to discard it. It doesn't become a colorless energy before he takes surprises, before he would have to discard the lightning energy. So has to discard all the energy off of the Regieleki there, but definitely worth it. For the 2 prizes, down to 1 prize, and Landon is in a tough spot because that also softened up his Gallade. Sends out the Clefairy. Clefable's only got 120 HP though. The Giratina is damaged. The Gallade was kind of his key to not getting knocked out to the Thundurus here, which right now is only doing 150 with the Fighting Fury Belt. But with that Terra Spark softening it up, bringing it down to 120 HP, Landon has scant options. He's going to have to find a way to take a prize without giving up a prize to Jonathan next turn, and I don't know how he's going to do that. Buddy Catch to find a supporter. He's got Penny, but he can't pick up the Gallade because Penny only works on basics. Oh, but he could Penny the Giratina. He just needs to find a way to get the Clefairy out of the active. And it sucks that he lost his air balloon there. Gets Crispin with the buddy catch. So, okay, if he can get the Clefable here, get the 2 energy. It looks like he's using a Versus Seeker. What's happening here? Okay, but if he can get the Clefable and get 2 energy on it, he can knock out the Regieleki, and he could put damage onto the Thunderous. If he puts 40 damage on the Thunderous, he could force a sudden death. Or no, wait, because the Fighting Fury Belt. Oh, the Fighting Fury Belt counters the bench damage from the Regieleki if he copies with the Clefable. So what he could have done is he could have evolved into Clefable, attack with the Regieleki attack, knock out the Regieleki, put 40 damage on the Thunderous. Then, if Thunderous tried to attack him, Thunderous would knock itself out. They would both take a prize and go to sudden death. But the Fighting Fury Belt is giving it 40 extra hit points. So, it's going to counteract the 40 damage from Clefable, copying Regieleki to use Terra Spark. And that clears the way. So, I don't know what Landon can do here. I think he needs to get... if he doesn't have... So he's trying to go with... If he goes with the Rosa, he can get the Clefable, an energy, and an item. Or no, a trainer. But the Dimension Valley is in the deck. Or excuse me, Dimension Valley is in the discard pile. Yeah, what can he do? He's kind of just going through all the options here. Alright, skipping ahead a little bit. Landon makes his play. He's going to Versus Seeker for the Marnie. He's going to play Marnie. Okay, so that's probably the only way he can get what he needs, because if he goes for Tenacity, he'll get the energy he needs, but he won't get the Clefable he needs. He also needs a Field Blower to deal with this Fighting Fury Belt. So, yeah, I think he just needs like a bunch of different cards, and none of the search supporters in his discard pile can really get it done. So, just needs to go with Marnie here to draw as many cards as he can. So, Marnie, the hand to the bottom, and I'm going to draw 5. And Jonathan draws 4. We see, it looks like a red card. Did he get what he needs? I don't see a Psychic Pokemon, but he may have drawn an item to get it. Oh, Counter Energy and the Clefable. Okay, he's got 2. He needs the Field Blower, though, in order for this play to work on the Thunderous. Did he get it? He has a red card. And a Super Rod. Oh, interestingly... He's going to Super Rod the Monkey Dory and the Darkness Energy back in. Oh, yeah, that would have worked too if he could get the Monkey Dory and get 3 damage counters on the Thunderous. And then, or even just put it on the Mareep. The Mareep is at 50 hit points, so he can't KO it with Terra Spark. But if he had the Monkey Dory in play with the Darkness Energy, but he's already attached Return. There's the Malamar finally showing up. So he can Psychic Recharge onto something. I'm not sure that it matters right now. He already used the Buddy Catch, so he's going to Psychic Recharge onto the Gallade. Yeah, I think he's just $1 short here. Red card for the Spite. I mean, he already shuffled Jonathan's hand to the bottom. And then, interestingly, he's going to Terra Spark here, knock out the Regieleki. And then, because the Counter Energy counts as 2 of each type of energy, he actually has to discard it, because he has to discard all Lightning Energy attached to Clefable. So if that had been a double colorless energy, you wouldn't have to discard, but because it is Counter Energy is Lightning Energy before the damage is done, he does have to discard the energy there. So he goes to take a prize. He puts the damage on the Thunderous. Yeah, he did get the Clefable, but really needed to draw a Field Blower or maybe a Luxurious Cape. Would have also gotten him possibly the win there. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I thought Jonathan was drawing for the turn without knocking out the Regieleki, but he was just drawing the rest of his cards from red card. The players did end up having to call a judge over to double check, make sure they were doing this correctly. The Counter Energy does get discarded as a Lightning Energy, and that is because you do resolve attack effects of the attack before you resolve the damage and take prizes, so that you do have to discard it. And Joe, our league manager, TO expert, came over. I forget, judge. Joe's our judge. She's our judge for the league, came over and did confirm that is how it works. And so, yeah, it looks like Regieleki knocked out. The U-turn board comes back to the hand. Promote the Emolga, and just going to be able to retreat and take the final prize with the Thunderous, which will have just enough hit points left thanks to that Fighting Fury belt. So Jonathan able to take a narrow victory over Landon's Psychic deck with his Lightning deck. And I can confirm Jonathan did go on to go 3-0 that night at the tournament, but due to the fact that there were 11 players, he got second place after Rona, who was also 3-0 due to tiebreakers. But congratulations to Jonathan. Great to see both players and Landon. Thank you very much to Landon for playing that. And thank you to everyone who's watching. Please make sure to subscribe to see notifications for new videos. I read every comment. I love hearing all of them. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
I think I only won because you had to put the Cleffa down so that you could use the attack. Because otherwise, I still would have had the prize left. So
if that had been any other basic.
Anything else, yeah.
Or an item that I could fail.
Yeah, anything.